Hey everybody, how y'all doing? A little ELO to bring us in all over the world. Hello, Paul. That's all I got to say. Enjoy that movie all the time. If ET is truly like that, then I say let disclosure happen. Hello, everybody. How are y'all? So good to see you. Favor be unto us all and Bosto, and just trust you're doing well on this Monday. Our world is changing. There is no doubt about it. Let's see. I think that, yeah, it says we're live. So I think we are live. Looks like we're live. Everyone is up and going. All right, good deal. So let me see. Let me get over this one here and let's push that forward. All right, all systems go. So, well, all right. Looks like everything is gone. Here we are. It says we're live. All right, everyone. So happy Monday. It's always a good day. Just because we add a day or a title to it doesn't make it any good or bad. Hey, Martin, Heidi, how you doing? Mad Cow, Cajun Queen. Hey, Lois, how are you doing? Kaz Hawks, how are you, my dear? Got to get you back on, huh? Catch up. David Barry, got to get you on too, dude. Good to see you. Much love to you, my friend. And David Castle, saw y'all with Lucky Stone over the weekend. Good conversation, definitely. Hey, Wendy, what's up? I have the Maelstrom and Peter. Good to see you. Paul, Joe, Loretta, and Delta Hook. Hello. Hey, Marsha. Much love to you, dear. Got emails. Hey, Kent. Just be patient. That's all I got to say. Lost in Space, but Marsha, what we're going to talk about that one that you sent. That one's good. Nina, good to see you, my love. Hello. Mommy Hill, hello. Haven't seen you before, but welcome. Doug, hello. How are you? Good to see you. Deborah, all right. So sending out healing vibrations to Gilbert Smith. Gilbert is one of the soul tribes, and he's he is facing with victory challenges with health. So, and we all know what that is. Hey Brian, what's up, dude? Good to see ya. Pamela, good to see you as well, everyone. So good to have everybody here. It really is. Let me see some here. This one is do. Well, that's do. All right, now I'm ready to go. Been a busy day. Man, busy day. So, how many of you caught Ben Davidson's show? I think it was over the weekend. May have been Friday, but I think it was over the weekend. And how our sun, uh, the chemical um, nature of it is changing. Our sun has used hydrogen as a fusion process, and the chemical compound is changing, according to Harvard, to helium. Yeah. That ain't good for us. So keep on your toes. That's all I got to say, because things are happening. One of the things I didn't get to share, by the way, Bosto, and a big hug to everybody, because the world needs a hug. And tomorrow, on a second look, make sure to tune in. Going to get Ryder Lee back on. When my father's passing, everything got thrown back. So, yeah. So that's just the way it is, and everything will get back to balance. But I wanted to show y'all something. This was from, let's see, I think this is 2015. So one of the things that has always I have found most curious, what came off of Sechi, was what I do believe, and there are others from many different points of view. Yellow Rose is one. That there was a time, ladies and gentlemen, in our solar system. So as you can see, this is Sechi, and I think that was 2007. This is May 2nd. Um, This has emerged. This is they say when you look at the design of this telescope with the camera, that this is an oculator that holds it. I don't know. To let you know, this is Earth. These are Birkeland currents. And this has, well, I contend, was a ship. And as you see the time lapse here, you can definitely see. Now, some people say, well, no, this was simply a refraction on the camera. But I'm not sure. This is using reverse and then filtering into the gamma. And, trying to determine that, is this an artifact happening within the lens array, or is this in fact a ship, which would be the size of a planet, by the way, and whatever that shield is in front of it, it's been theorized that a solar shield about the size, if you can imagine the size of a planet, would be a viable means of interplanetary travel. So, yeah, do with it what you want. Miss Secchi, boy, Stereo B used to give us some good shots. But anyway, do with it. I just thought I'd bring this up because we're talking about things that are just not so. When I brought out the paper here, I think it was the Terra papers, or was it? No, I think it was the Matrix, and we're going to go back and revisit. There's 5 papers that we're going to go through. But anyway, and the Time Loop Chronicles brought this out very front and center. We're living a time loop here, folks. I'm convinced of it. And I think after today's show, dealing in one particular area, I think you're going to realize none of this is new. We think it's new, but it's not. And it may very well be that technology is, in fact, what shall we say, the beast that has consumed us before and is consuming us again. David Barry, thank you for that. Hey, Big Al, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. And Deborah Truax, good to see you. Robert V, good to see you as well. Thank you, David Barry, for sending that. I actually put it into the PowerPoint for today. So let's get right to it, because this is some strange stuff going on. So over the weekend, I'm watching this documentary, and they get this guy from NASA, where NASA admits it's lost the technology to go back to the moon. I mean, I've heard some lame excuses, but that's the lamest of it all. They say that it did not occur to them to do any backup, and that the old mag tapes, the problem with magnetic tape, is it real or is it Memorex, is that oxidation takes place. And once oxidation takes place on the magnetic surface of particularly tape, back in the day, we used tape. I started in the video and film industry where we were actually using 2-inch quad tape. Yeah, going back. But in any case, it did not occur to anyone at NASA that, well, we ought to archive this data. The movie Space Cowboys, I think, was kind of predicated and maybe showing this, because what they have found out is that the technology of the 60s and early 70s is actually beyond our engineers today. They don't understand it. It's because most engineers today rely on AI, where the engineers back in the day almost could be ancient now. They had to do everything manually. But still, losing the technology, I mean, that boggles the imagination. Can I ask you a question? Aren't all dead people aliens? Just asking. Just asking. Please leave your comment. Be curious to hear. All right, so we're going to talk about the Vienna. I think that's a Vienna. That's how you pronounce it. Because when you start looking at what we went through Gemini and Apollo, all the way to the early days of Skylab, our technology certainly resembled a much older technology. And these machines, they could fly. They were also submarines. They were fighters. They were freighters. They were people transport, and they were spacecraft. That's a diverse piece of technology. And if you look at the Vienna, and I may be saying that, I think it is. I think it is Vienna. It has a lot of resemblance to the very early technology of our rocket technology. And isn't it odd that the Nazis were all over this? They were building their own Vimanas. It's in the Indian architecture. Clear depiction of rocket technology. So if there was rocket technology 5,000, 6,000 years ago, and we still haven't gotten off this freaking planet, something ain't right, folks. And throughout the rich history of India, they were, and I still say that's why we have some of the brightest engineers, mathematicians are coming out of India. And you can see why. It's obviously in their heritage. Flying crafts were no big deal. Throughout their culture, throughout their monuments and the structures, plenty of evidence of flying machines. Now I'm going to ask you to take this. Don't just simply say, yeah, I've seen this before, because no, you haven't thought this thing out. Because if you have a cavalier attitude, well, I've seen this before, then wait a minute. So please explain why the regression. Listen, if mankind, Homo sapiens, had this technology, this knowledge, this wisdom, what happened to us? How we should be out there now doing intergalactic travel. Again, some say that this is technology that is still around today. There are stories that say that our government stole this technology. It's also well known that part of the whole Iraq, Afghanistan mission is not a geopolitical mission. It is, in fact, a retrieval mission. Has been for well over 20 years. We first went into Iraq not for the issue of taking down a madman, Saddam. No, we went in there because of what Saddam found in the ancient city of Babylon. That's what the mission was. The shock and awe was merely a cover for U.S. Special Forces to go into the museum and into the ancient Babylonian city itself and to retrieve technology. Now, when you look at this technology, there are different models. You have the Tripura, which is the submarine version, along with the Shakuna, that is an air that actually carries people. You have the Rukma, that is also a people carrier and as well as freight, but the Sundar is also, this thing is huge. In fact, we'll look into this. You're going to see that we get a lot of our technology. Now, here's a side-by-side comparison from mysteryofindia.com. And if you look everything from Apollo to what we're now even exploring to go on to Mars, the Vyama is, you tell me. And when you look at this, we're going to look at a document that actually gets into how these thrusts work, how the craft was able to land, much like we're seeing with SpaceX technology, Origin, reusing the rockets. And I still say we should be way beyond using hard chemical reaction. We use gas, but it's frozen for our chemical to boost. We should be way beyond that. Everyone is familiar with this. This is from the Inca, I believe, the Mesoamerican Empire. Clearly, I believe it shows a human being working on a computer. We have the same pictographs depicted in Egypt. We have the same pictographs going all the way back into Mesopotamia, as well as the Indo Valley. David Barry, thank you for sending this. This is an odd one. I mean, is this guy performing surgery? Is he flying a craft that, they say off to the right is the propulsion system? We're so blinded, so easily deceived. We think we're really advanced. And if you look at the condition of the world today, all I can say, you cannot tell me that human beings are any smarter than these people. Today, the human beings in our society, in the United States, and every government, I look at politicians and those that are in this thing, they're no more than primates showing their shit around, smearing their shit all over themselves and us too. That's where we are. We haven't advanced. We've regressed. We are a brutal, violent, hypocritical society. That's what we are. Because it's quite evidence that there has been higher intelligent life here and they left. I think they found Homo sapiens to be too brutal, too ignorant, unable to develop. We use our technology today. We try to say in the guise of space exploration, but it's for war. Everything is for war. Just as it was 6,000 years ago, maybe even more. And this is a very interesting depiction of the drawing, because if you look at the individual's headdress, there's more going on here than what meets the eye. A lot more. So we're going to get into a document that actually breaks down all of these. And what's really interesting is that when you look at the drawings and the blueprints, we're using the same technology, mercury. Now, what we found out with the Nazis, when the Allied forces got to their technology center, the 3 UFOs, or flying machines, Varamas, the interesting thing was the plates, and what was between these 2 plates was mercury. And what they found out, that when you have reverse polarization of 2 reverse field plates moving, and it's then lubricated with a mercury in between the two, it generates this electromagnetic field. It no longer, gravity no longer has a pull on it. It actually is a bubble. Best way I know how to describe it. But if you look at this, and it's a fascinating, when you study these, and we're going to look at this, and you can see now how they're using ancient technology to begin to reignite new ideas of flight. And I contend we already have this technology. I think there have been so many captures of it already. So this Vienna, look at it. I don't know. The story is this one. This is in Afghanistan, supposedly. It is said that they found one of these ancient crafts, over 6,000 years old. Can you imagine what would a nation do? A carnivorous nation like the United States. Can you imagine? Listen, Russia, China, you know what they would do to reverse engineer this technology? I believe that's what they've done. There are stories of the Gandhar giant in Afghanistan. Stories that they have found ancient caverns with ancient technology, ancient computers. We've studied some of this. This is supposedly one of the Viennas. I think I got that right. Yeah, in Afghanistan. We'll look at this. This is what happens when you start generating these intense electromagnetic fields. As you can see, it plays havoc on magnetics. The one behind me. Look at this. Maybe these flying saucers, are older than what we think. And I'm going to get into this document because it's quite fascinating when you think about this. So imagine a elite family, or if you want to stretch it a little bit further, let's say a scouting party of off-worlders lands in the Indus Valley, and they actually set up in what we call India. And these were spacefaring beings. In other words, they don't stay on a planet. Usually they find a planet. They look at the culture, the intelligence, what's going on with the natives, so to speak, and they set up a dynasty. I believe they may still be here because here's what I don't understand. And I'm just using this commentary, is that we seem to lose technology a lot. I mean, a lot. So the question that has to be asked, I mean, it's been asked many times. I think the answers have been anemic at best. Where did they go? Why did these beings that were blue, they were blue beings, where did they go? Why? Was this war that they depicted of such intensity that it not only impacted Earth, but it impacted planets like Mars? I don't know, because if in fact I think that the India story of their technology is verifiable. Of all cultures on this planet, the nation of India, I do believe, probably still does to some degree possess this knowledge. And I still question, where did these beings go? Why did, if they left, why? Was there an invasion? Was there a war of another group? They were using nuclear technology. They were using light ray technology. They had ships. They had specially designed warships. And apparently they killed millions in their battles at one battle. I think one of the stories, 1.8 million human beings slaughtered in one battle. That's so what happened to them? You know, we all know the story in the book of Genesis, the story of God, Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, although it's been retuned for reprogramming, it's still the technology there. That was a nuclear exchange. That was a nuclear missile, a nuclear bomb, thermonuclear, most likely in the hydrogen category, that so decimated the area. We didn't even do that in Hiroshima. I mean, at ground zero, we impacted souls that to this very day can't get free. It literally impacted their souls into the space-time continuum. But getting back to the stories here, these weapons were even more devastating than that. So, what's going on? There is something going on in the world right now, folks. There's no denying it. There is an evil, dark agenda. There is a death shroud that has been placed upon the spirit of America. This death shroud is being placed on other countries. England, you now have the death shroud on you. There are other countries that this death shroud is starting to consume. Where's this coming from? I don't know. Something happening. It's a fact. So when I came across this, and let me just show you, it's a great PDF. So this is a book that was on Abe's books. I couldn't believe it. But this guy got lucky enough that he actually got to buy this thing. This book is very rare, extremely valuable. I won't go into all the preliminary story of this, but you should really, if you want it, it gives you the background. This came out in 1923. The drawings, everything else is just, it's a mystery. The person that wrote this, they don't even know where it came from. So this is the Maharishi, the Maharajas. I think this is the Vaimanika Shastra, or the Science of Aeronautics. And this is part of his unknown works, Yantra Sarvasava, or All About Machines. And this is a fascinating read. I spent the whole weekend. I had a number of other things that I needed to do, but this thing just it pulled me in. And the reason why is that because when you get into the story, you begin to find out that flight, we think that the Wright brothers are responsible. No, that's a fallacy. And it is a distortion of historical facts. The Wright brothers didn't do anything but learn how to wipe their ass instead of showing their crap everywhere. You know, the fact is they finally got smart enough to realize what high and low pressure will do. I mean, folks, at some point we just got to be honest about our species. We ain't that smart. And now, when you begin to see the real history, this ties into, I'll just be candid with you. It's fabulous that this technology has been here for nearly 10,000 years, maybe beyond that. And then it got lost. But yet, somehow, what's that old song? I was lost, but somehow I got saved. You have people who do not have the education, the training, background that are writing documents, technical drawings that far exceed their ability, their education, and yet it confounds even the brightest of our engineers today. And if you look at this, so this is the passenger platform. I mean, it's interesting. I wonder if they had first class stewage, Yeah. And, often, when you get in on boats and you get into the stewage class, that's sewage class. That's what that means. Propulsion systems. Now, it was drawn by this gentleman in Bangalore, February 12th, 1923. You have to read what he was doing on this. This is the Rukma Vamana. As you can see, same type of propulsion system that you would see today. This is the base plans of it. Again, he gets this and it's like being channeled to him. And you can imagine today a helicopter using the same technology. I mean, this is rotor technology. When you build rotors, you know what you're doing. You're producing, high, low pressure, gives you lift, can steer you, propel you. So this is the steering floor. And I thought that was so interesting because there's actually components in here that looks like it has to be manned by obviously a crew, but the technology of keeping the craft level at all times. Again, this is now giving a vertical view. So these had to be humongous. It's interesting. This technology up here is, again, using, and we can actually get a little closer, take a look at that. It's, from the best thing that I can tell, it seems to be a propulsion system of some kind. I could be wrong on this, but isn't this interesting? So you have the passenger cabins. You have the airflow. And look at this, electromagnets. And you can see that they're connected through or around, I guess, the air pipe chambers into these switchboards. And these are crystals. These are control boards up here. And then it goes back into this electromagnet. I mean, pretty advanced stuff for supposedly a people that still to this day is underestimated. Again, this is a different type of Vienna. Vienna? Yeah, there, I got it right. That's the small things. The complexity of the drawings as well are just But when you read this, you look at it and you're going, yeah, I believe that this technology could be easily duplicated today. We have enough AI programs that you could put this into, and the program would show you exactly how to build it. You got exhaust pipes. I mean, it's fascinating for me to get back and to think about the culture of the people of the time. They didn't hide this. This was out in the open. It was culturally acceptable. And if you look at it today, how have we regressed? I keep saying this. We're not getting smarter. We're getting dumber. Again, the whole battery system that they're obviously using electromagnetic field disruption technology. That's my terms. But at the same time, these fields are obviously very easily moved. I mean, when you look at the propulsion system of the propellers themselves, I told you this is a fascinating document. So this is the Tripura. You can see at the top, this is an electrical power generator. Tesla told us, I believe there are beings on this planet that have known about this. You don't need so much to worry about a fuel source. It's a matter of adapting to the fuel source that's all around you. And so in this case, you can actually see that this craft actually lifts up and folds back down. You get into the first floor, you have this pinion design, a tooth segment. Now, this is fascinating when you think about this. Did you see all this? This is the ground wheels to land the vehicle. I mean, you think about, we get the cockamanian story of this Judeo-Christianity, Islamic crap. That's nothing more than the Stone Age. It's exactly where it's supposed to keep man, is in the Stone Age thinking. And I get so frustrated when I see that for at least the last 5,000 years, man has been regressed. Folks, if we possessed this technology nearly 10,000 years ago, and I know there's out there people say, oh no, that's just their arrogance. They can't handle the fact that they're nothing more than primates. That's all we are. We are technically primates. It's just that we have the power of speech, separates us from the other primates. So you have an electrical power generator. It leads all the way down. You can see it in here. They're filled with a certain type of acid. Yeah. Another electrical power generator to show you how they work. And the technology today, we look at it and go, yeah. But again, I won't be able to go through this whole document if you want it. Now, this is the one for, look at this. You have a rudder. So this is a submarine view. This is an electric power generator up here. Then you have the ground wheels with electrical motors in the hubs. So this is could be almost like a Zeppelin. And this is, maybe some of you don't find it interesting, but I do. And I know others of you do, because the bigger question is, what happened? Those in India who probably know this history better than I do. I'm just a Southern guy. sums up. I mean, if this is 100-foot craft, now you think about that, that's 1/3 the size of a football stadium. So you have the passenger cabins on either side, and then in the center is basically you have the cockpit. It's just, we look at what's happening all around us, and again, you'll find this. If you want this, I will be more than happy to share it. It goes on, and by the time you get finished with this and you go through the drawings and you get the idea of what's really going on here, look at this thrust. It's these crafts. And again, I wouldn't even begin to try to speak any of these names. I thought I did pretty good on the Maharashi. I mean, so anyway, check it out. You'll get into the whole story of what they believe this to be, of maybe what happened. There is some stories that say that there was this war. It was like a war of mother of all wars. In fact, it devastated the planet. And again, I don't know, if you look at the stories that we've read already, the Terror Papers talks about the same war. They mentioned this war that kicked humanity's ass, nearly wiped us out. Now, when you see this document, what do you say, David? These are the space opera cultures from the interview with the alien book. Yeah. Yeah. Liberals, man. I'm just reading some of this. But it's true. Yeah. David, I tell you, if you like to come on, I like to talk about this. You see something just, I mean, if we're primates, that's what we're classified as. Well, then I'm smart enough to sit here and say, now, wait a minute. We had this technology, and you can say, I love how sometimes people love to use academia and then use theology. Well, those stories are, that's just their religious culture. No, it's not. It's beyond that. And I sit here and I'm going, so wait a minute. All right, so let's say there was this war, right? All right, kick-ass war. I mean, it's written in all the religions, all of the myths, the folklore, the pantheon of the stories. Okay. So we know that there was a freaking nuclear war, most likely on planet Earth. I mean, the mother of all freaking nuclear wars. I believe that they were using light technology that was wiping us out by the billions. I think that we at one time populated the planet like we did today and kicked our ass. And then things had to restart all over again. And so let's talk about the war. So typically in a war, you have two scenarios, a loser, a winner, or it could be a tie. Don't know if there was a declared winner. So let's do the assumption that there was a winner. That means there was a loser. Now, did the loser haul butt with his tail tucked between his legs and head out into the stars and said, I had enough? And the victor, we don't know if this is a good victor or a bad victor. We don't know. You know how victors are. And so did they stay? And if they stayed, why did they allow the mess to regenerate itself? We're in a cycle here. And it's very obvious we're in a cycle. So does that say could we deduce from that that the victor left as well and said, I had enough of it, I've looked it over, and it ain't worth the investment. We're getting the hell out of here. So they get into their vamos and off they go. So then someone else comes in. Maybe someone who was watching the battle said, let's just hold our forces back. Let them expend their resources. And then came in. Not being fully aware of the full history. All right, that's one scenario. The other scenario is, let's say the blue beans either were attacked or had a civil war. If they were attacked, by whom? If it was a civil war, why? And then most importantly, through it all, where'd they go? I don't think they left. I'm not buying it. I am not buying it. You know, listen, if commerce is the driver of consciousness, yeah, comment on that one, please. Well, they're not going to walk away from their investment. It's a damn planet. They got the control of the freaking planet. That's a hell of a return on investment. So where are they? Where are they? And if they're still here, which I contend, I do believe they are, where'd they go? And if this technology was at least 10,000 years old, you're not telling me that they stayed stagnant. I mean, to become a static IP is ridiculous. No, it's going to be dynamic. So they've had to been developing additional technology. But why let the world get out of control like it is today? I don't know. And if the sun is changing its chemical complexion, and if we are indeed being set up for an eventual nova situation, is that when they come and make their appearance? Let nature do the dirty work? I'm just talking, folks. I mean, to me, it's it seems very obvious that they're still here. And if they are here, then I guess we have to really step this back. Are they native to here? I mean, by all pretenses, we are not native to this, unless you want to say that we're nothing more extensions of the evolutionary ladder, that we are a higher degree of primate. Our DNA would suggest that. So does this really mean that Homo sapiens, Homo erectus, beginning with Anticulus, that we're nothing more than an experiment? That they've tried this over many, many times? That apparently we have failed every time? Is that why we can't remember where we came from, how we got here, how all this started? Is this nothing more than the petri dish that the architect is still trying to get it right? I'm just reading some of the comments. You see, isn't it so interesting how we perceive ourselves? Because I'm right in there as well. I mean, you know, and I think it's groups like ours that really, we either are very entertaining to them or extremely threatening to them. I mean, it's like, you know, In Search of the Lost Chord. I think, therefore I am. There you go, man. Be as calm as you can. It riles them to believe that you perceive that you are real. Is that the thing? Is it truly just that simple that the real test to all this is that once we perceive that we are real, does it make it so? I mean, listen, the masters are still here. I'm convinced of it. You know, we've got all the damn religions you can want in this planet. 10,000 plus different religions. New ones being built all the time. And yet, we are no better off than we were from the beginning of all of them. So we regress ourselves, we fight against ourselves, we argue against ourselves, wear our banner, fly our flag, and say, I got the answer. I know it. You're lost. I know where I'm at. You're the one that's wrong. You're the guy that has it all messed up because we got it right. Says who? You still are throwing your feces because we seem to be in this ever looping cycle, always against one another, always fighting against one another, always coming in and challenging one another. And yet we're nothing more than the rats in the maze. And I'm asking, where did they go? If this technology, and there was a race of beings using this type of technology that is now advanced to what we see today, where did they go? Yeah, I don't know. Hey, Trina, what's up? Good to see you, dear. Hey, Ice, to see Marie. Good to see you, hon. Um, Folks, I mean, we got to get real about this. The politicians in London, DC, Moscow, Paris, all around the world, they're controlled. They are being controlled. And if you can't see that and recognize it, then I'd probably say that you might be controlled as well. But by whom? And by what? I don't know about this ascension thing. I don't know about the history. I see all and over. I've studied it, and I'm saying it's all bullshit. It's a made-up history. There was no in the beginning. Never was. Not for us. I don't know. I don't even think that we're these falling beings. If we're fallen beings, then we've missed the bus, because we're bare ass naked out in the middle of nowhere, and we still haven't gotten back to where we began. And it bothers me because it seems like we're being pushed into a situation that doesn't make sense. Humanity wouldn't do this to itself, or would it? Question is, why are we doing this to ourselves? And I'm telling you, it has something to do with these beings. The ones that had this technology, the one that use this technology even today. And I don't think it's just technology of a flying craft that they're using anymore. The situation on this planet has gotten out of hand. And it intensifies every day. I have dreams now where I'm seeing something. There is something that is above Homo sapiens, above the primates on this one. They're smarter than us. And they've got something going on, folks. And I don't like the fact that we're being played like a cheap guitar. I'm pissed off about it. I've had enough of it. But yet all the way I've seen is humanity going freaking insane. And don't tell me about positive thought changing our world, because I guess we ain't doing enough positive thought. Because if you look at the headlines and you see what's going on in this country alone, it is an agenda of division. It is an agenda of death. So apparently we ain't getting it right here either, because our positiveness is having diddly effect and the ones that are making decisions that will impact us all, particularly our children. So where'd they go? Are they the ones doing this? Are they the ones that are the perpetrators of this? Is this what this is leading to? Have we been down this road before? And if we have, how many times? I've had enough of it. It just, folks, we got to get our act together, because they are pushing something here and it's not pretty. And I wish I could come out here and give all of us a big lollipop and just say, isn't the rainbows pretty? But you know what? It ain't that away. Our rainbows are turning colors. They used to be the primary colors. Now we get them in red, and now we're starting to see them in green. What the hell's going on? I saw almost a freaking fisticuffs in a freaking store over nothing. You watch people and it's like, what the hell is going on? Mm-hmm. What did you say? What was that? I think we should. I tell you, folks, I love our species. I mean, we're not perfect. We are a messed up group, but you know what? Never doubt the eccentricity of stimulation from people who are eccentric. It stimulates our creativity. But we can do it in an environment where we're not tearing at each other, that where we're lifting each other up. I know, keep talking about it, but hey, all right. This is why I love this group. This group is just beyond comparison. And it is a refuge, it is a sanctuary, and it is an enclave of serenity. So that's just how I see y'all. I just want to let you know that every one of you are precious individuals, and I just thank you for contributing to this great community. Yes. Didn't David Bowie talk about changes? Changes. Yep. Yes, indeed. All right, folks. Well, you can tell I'm riled up on this. It just bothers me. I mean, when I saw that these two people, and I'm just going, this is nuts. You just turn around. I did. I just turned around and I said, you know, it's coming to be where, if you walk into a store, you have got to be really on your game. You better have your intuitive senses trained. You better be disciplined, because these days you could be walking into a situation, you go, oh shit, how the hell did I get here? No, no, that's all I got to say. Hey, Elderberry, how you doing? um, and we're better than this. I just tell you, we are better than this. But wow, yeah, you really need to have those intuitive skills, like really fine-tuned. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, fine-tuned. All right. Thank you, Claudette. Well, it's so great to see you today, my dear. Missed you. How you been? JL, thank you. How are you doing? Gaia, you beautiful soul, you and Paul both. Lost in Space, all the rest of you. Deborah Truex, much love to you. Yes, isn't that Deborah Truex, that is true. This is one of the things I like about this group, is that there are diverse perspectives and opinions, but yet it is done in an environment of edifying, not tearing down. I mean, as I tell you, people, listen, you're entitled to your opinion. It's no threat upon mine. You know, I love hearing them. Shannon, good to see you. Well, thank you, darling. Thank you. No reply says I'm beautiful. I'm beautiful. I believe that to be true. Well, thank you, Danielle. Yeah, the Steiger perspective, I can really let loose, you know. It's good therapy. That's what they say. Hey, it's really good therapy. Yeah, it is. Trust me. All right, we're going to be on tomorrow with Trina. Yeah, it is still pretty cold. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Really good. All right. We'll pick up tomorrow. I don't know what we'll be talking about, and I'm going to get Jenny on because yeah. And if you're up for a discussion on that, let me know. Love to have you on. We're in a time, folks. It's here. You know, when I found out the story, and I know I'm going a little bit over because it's 10111. There you go. That the composition of the sun is changing. Folks, that's I'm going to tell you what I really, and I went in and I talked to my wife about it, and I said, as she could tell and look, she said, "What's up?" I said, "Well, the composition of the sun is changing, going from hydrogen to helium." And she said, "How soon?" And I said, "I don't know. Maybe soon." Hey, Joyce, whatever that is, cool. So it's here, folks. It isn't no preparing, it's no coming, it's here. And there's no stopping what's coming. So since there's no stopping it, then I say let's have our game plan ready to go. And this is what we're doing. Pamela says I'm preaching. No, girl. If you heard me preach, you'd be giving me an offering. All right. Laugh, folks. Come on. Be nice. That's the thing. Be nice. You know? Okay. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Yeah. But see, that's the Steiger perspective. Yeah, I put a disclaimer at the front of that all the time. You see, you give up, you gave consent and you listen to that. That's entering into Wayne's world. Yeah. All right, folks, be good to yourself. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Much love to all of you, and hug yourself and then hug others. Eventually, you're going to let us do that again. You know that? All right. Thank you, Robert V. Mossy Man, good to see you. Jargo. All right, everyone.